Hey, what's going on, Rockstars? Welcome back to the Rockstarflipper YouTube channel. And I got a ton of requests for a video about basic accounting, basic tracking on a spreadsheet, how to use it, how to keep track of your inventory, how to keep track of your expenses, your cost of goods, and your profit margin, profit and loss, and what to do to get ready for tax season, because we're just about 60 days out from when everyone is going to start getting those 1099s. People are going to start getting their tax returns from the IRS and having to start thinking about filing federal taxes. Now, this is federal tax, not state income tax, not state sales tax, just federal taxes. And I do want to put a disclaimer out. I am not a licensed accountant. I am not a CPA. I'm none of those things. So any of these strategies and advice that I give you is simply in my experience and the way that I have done things in the past or still do them to this point. So there are two accounting methods that are most used by small business owners, especially in the sales business. And there are two ways to track those two ways of accounting for small business owners and sellers. So way number one, a lot of people can just use a basic Excel spreadsheet. And when I started in business years ago, this is what I did. I didn't invest in any software program or hire CPAs or any of that sort of thing. I used a spreadsheet. Now, my very first year, I hired a CPA for advice. And ever since I learned everything I needed to know from him, I paid him a lot of money to learn from him. I do my taxes on my own. I don't need anyone. So there are also two ways to keep track of inventory and what you've spent. So the two ways are called exact line item accounting. And this is basically exactly what it sounds like. Every single time you buy an item, every single item you buy, you will insert that into a line. You will put the cost, the date, all that good stuff, and you will have a total of all your items. So let me give you guys an example. Looking at this spreadsheet, if you were going to do it exact line item accounting, you would have a line for the date, the item that you purchased. You would have maybe you want to keep track of the store that you purchased from, and you would have the cost of the item. Okay, so that is pretty much all you're going to need for that. So let's say that you bought your first item on June 1st of 2017. Whoops, June 1st of 2017. And let's say that you bought a polo shirt. And you can do a description or a serial number. You can put this in any way that you want. Let's say you bought it from the Goodwill in New York City. I'm just throwing random stuff out there. And let's say you paid $2 for it. Perfect. So let's say the next day you went to the Goodwill in New Jersey. You were at a different Goodwill and you decided to buy a pair of True Religion jeans, and those cost you $10. So you guys can see, now let's say the same day you went to that same store. This is the Goodwill in New Jersey. Goodwill in New Jersey. You went to the same New Jersey store and you bought some Tommy Hilfiger shirt and you paid $3 for that. So this is exact line item accounting. Every single item you bought, you would put in with the exact price that you bought it at. And so at the end of the day, and a lot of people will do this by month or week or day, they'll create a new spreadsheet for each week or for each month or however you want to do it. I used to do them by the months. Every day I would come in here all the way until I got down to, say, June 30th. And let's say I bought one, wet seal shirt. I don't know. We just bought a wet seal shirt for a girl or a dress. And we bought that at the Salvation Army in New York. And we paid $1 for that. So then at the end of the month, I would have all these items lined up, a whole spreadsheet of hundreds of items. Then you just come up here to this top box and you hit the sum. And then you click and hold here and just drag it down to the bottom, all the way down the bottom, and hit enter. And it's going to total up your total cost of goods. This box right here is total cost of goods for the month. So now you've got it completely broken down on what you spent on every single item that you spent in the month of June. Your total cost of goods was $16. Okay, so that's for the month of the purchasing. Now the sales side, we'll come over here and put dates sold, items sold, sale price. Okay, so let's say on June 1st, you sold I don't know, we sold a Robert Graham shirt from the month before that you bought. Let's say you sold it for $100. And then you have a PayPal fee. You have an eBay fee. You have a shipping cost. All right, let's say the PayPal fee was $1, the eBay fee was $3, and the shipping cost was $4. So we now have total fees, or we'll call it total expenses. You can call it whatever you want, doesn't matter. This is going to sum again, these boxes, just the fees. And so our total fees on that item was 8, and then you could put the next box as net on item would be what you sold it for minus the expenses. We made $92 on that item. So now you can, once again, you can go ahead and sum up all these columns. That'll be our sale column. This will be our PayPal column. This would be our eBay fee column. And this would be our shipping cost column. And then this would be our total expense column. So you just click sum and then just click and drag over the boxes that you want to include in that. If you don't know how to use Excel, I have a video about it. There's a ton of YouTube videos about how to use Excel. And so there we go. So if that was the only item we sold for June, then we did $100 in sales. We spent $8 in fees and shipping, and we netted $92. So 92 minus our 16 leaves us a $76 profit on this month. Now, a lot of people do cost of goods sold only. So if the Robert Graham shirt has a cost of goods of, let's say we bought this 2 months prior for $5, well, the profit on that is $87 because we netted 92. So you can easily find out what the profit was on each individual item. So this is kind of the way that I do things. There's only one difference with the way that I do it exactly. And so the difference with the way that I do it is I don't put each individual item in. I just put for every store, I'll put in what I paid at that store total and how many items I bought. And so what that allows me to do is, let's say I paid $100 at a store and I bought 10 items. My average cost of goods is $10. I average cost of goods stuff. So that keeps me from having to input. Because remember, when I go to the Goodwill in New York, I'm not buying one polo shirt. I'm buying 30 shirts. So I don't want to sit here and type in 30 items. So I'll just put 30 items at $60, average cost of goods $2. So that's how it basically comes out. So now at the end of the month, you can take and say, for this month, if you were only in business 1 month, let's say you did this in December, and so you only got to pay taxes for 1 month. I purchased a total of $16. That's what I spent. My total sales were $100 because the IRS is going to ask you for your sale. My sale was $100. Then they're going to say, what were your cost of goods? Well, my cost of goods were $16. Then they're going to ask what kind of expenses you had. And there's different columns for expenses. There's a shipping column. There's bank fees, which PayPal falls under the bank fee column. The eBay fees fall under a column called subscriptions. There's a column in the IRS when you file your taxes that say subscriptions. That's where your eBay fees go. Shipping goes in the shipping column, and then it's going to show that you profited 92 minus 16. You profited $76 for the month, and you're going to owe taxes on 76. But then there's going to be other expenses. And so what you would do for that is you'd make some other columns where you could put cost, and you could say the other expense was envelopes. And so that cost was $10 in envelopes. And you bought tape, and that was $5. And you bought boxes, and they were $5. And you bought your eBay store subscription, which would fall under the eBay fees as well. I'd probably put that under eBay fees actually instead. Let's say that you had rent on a building. That was, I don't know, $20. I'm just making up numbers here so you guys get the idea. So then you would have total expense cost here of $40. And it would ask you to put in other expenses. And they've got all these different categories and columns for expenses. You can pretty much figure out which category it goes into based on what it is. But if you have any issues with that, you can always ask me later. And then it's going to take that 76 in profit that we did, that 92 less that 16. You owe taxes on 76, but then you get to deduct your expenses, your other expenses. And then that reduces your taxable liability. This is really a very simple way to keep track of what your profit is, what your fees were, and you can do this each month so you don't garble up all your months together. Just do it for each month and make sure at the end of every day, if you update your sales and your purchasing and your expenses every day. It'll take you 5 minutes. The other way that you can do it is by paying for GoDaddy or QuickBooks Online Accounting. And all that's going to do is provide you spreadsheets that does the math for you. It's going to give you places to insert all this stuff. It's going to say, create a new purchase, create a new sale, create a new expense, create a new fee. And you'll just click that button, you'll click create new, and you'll add these items in, and then the programs will do the math for you. So this is as basic and simple as I can break it down for you. And this is free, just Microsoft Excel, and you can start putting all these into your computer. Now, as 2017 comes to an end and 2018 starts, you may want to start thinking about investing in GoDaddy or QuickBooks Accounting. They range anywhere from like $19.99 a month on up to like $150 a month, depending on, do you have employees? Do you not have employees? How much detail do you need? You can get a basic service that will do all that I just showed you right here for between $20 and $25 a month. And it is tax deductible because it is an expense. Keep that in mind. Everything you expense out is tax deductible. So if there's any questions, by all means, leave it in the bottom in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to answer as many as I can. I am not an accountant. I am not licensed. I'm not a CPA. I cannot give you CPA advice. And if you're totally at a loss, then please contact one. I recommend it highly. But if you just have a quick question or something simple or something you're getting hung up on, I'll try my best without giving you advice, legal advice, accounting advice, to answer it in the comment section down below. If there's anything else on the accounting side you want me to cover, leave that in the comment section below as well. And I'll do my best to help with that as well. So thank you guys a million times over. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share it. Show somebody else. Make sure you post it in social media. And make sure you're still subscribed to my channel, you guys, because YouTube is unsubscribing people like crazy. I was unsubscribed to like 10 of my favorite YouTubers. So please, please, please double check that you're subscribed to the channel so we can hit 50,000 in the next day or two. Have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful night, and I'll see you guys again real soon.